Astrevia Prime isn't just any planet. It's the academic heart of the galaxy, a massive world dedicated entirely to learning, where beings from countless worlds gather to study, compete, and collaborate. Towering structures made from shimmering alien alloys stretch toward the twin suns, and transport vehicles of every imaginable shape and size buzz across the skies, creating a constant hum that makes the planet feel like one vast, interconnected campus. Everywhere, there are students, tall, short, scaled, feathered, and furred, racing from one lecture hall to the next, sometimes pausing to gape at a species they've never seen before. For a newcomer, it's dizzying, a kaleidoscope of color, sound, and movement. But for Alexis Marsden, Astrevia Prime feels like home, at least for this academic year. Alexis is human, a species most of the galaxy only knows from history texts that emphasize their boldness, tactical brilliance, and, to be frank, their shocking disregard for conventional limits. A species that thrives in danger. Most of her classmates aren't sure if they want to befriend her or keep a safe distance. Alexis doesn't mind. She's not here to make friends. She's here to show what humanity can do. It's a cool, crisp morning. Well, as crisp as mornings get on Astrevia Prime, when Alexis hears the announcement. Her classes are interrupted by a chime, and the calm, authoritative voice of Headmaster Olin, an elder of the Prolux species, fills the room. Attention, students of Astrevia Prime. In honor of Galactic Science Week, we will be hosting our annual science fair. Each student is encouraged to demonstrate a project that embodies their species' unique innovations. The winner will receive a special commendation and a chance to present their project to the Galaxy Council. As the announcement ends, Alexis feels dozens of alien eyes on her. Her reputation for unconventional projects is well known across campus. Smirking to herself, she's already planning her entry. If they think they've seen the extent of human ingenuity, they're in for a surprise. Alexis gets to work immediately. Her project is ambitious, a Hive Mind Drone Army, inspired by old Earth military tactics, but with a twist that only modern human tech can pull off. Each drone in the system will function as part of a larger consciousness, adapting to its environment and opponents in real time. There's no central controller. They all move in sync, reacting to each other instantly. It's a concept few alien species understand, as most rely on traditional hierarchies and centralized command. Her alien friends, Sval and Kellyan, visit her lab as she sketches out the prototype. Sval, a member of an insectoid species with multiple limbs and big, cautious eyes, watches her work with a mix of intrigue and nervousness. Kellyan, a curious reptilian with sleek green scales, leans in close, studying the hologram with wide, fascinated eyes. So, each drone just knows what the others are doing? Sval asks, glancing at the schematics projected in front of them. Yep, Alexis says, grinning. It's called a hive mind. They share information constantly. If one spots a threat, they all know immediately. They can adapt on the fly without waiting for commands. Sval and Kellyan exchange glances. And why would humans create something like this? Kellyan asks, trying to hide a hint of apprehension. Efficiency, adaptability, teamwork, Alexis says, as though it's obvious. Imagine facing an enemy that always knows your next move, adapts before you can even react, and doesn't need to wait for orders. That's the beauty of the hive mind. Kellyan whistles softly. Sounds intense. Oh, it will be, Alexis replies, her eyes gleaming with excitement. The day of the fair arrives, and the campus is buzzing with anticipation. Students from every species display their projects, filling the auditorium with a dazzling array of colors, sounds, and strange, alien contraptions. Vrak Thol, a hulking jawmech with sleek metallic scales, stands near his project, a massive laser cannon prototype, with a smug grin, drawing an awed crowd. Alexis catches his eye, and he sneers, clearly unimpressed by her unassuming drones sitting quietly on a table. Finally, it's her turn to present. She steps forward, her drones gleaming under the lights, and activates her project. At first, the drones appear to be nothing special, just small, sleek metal spheres floating a few inches off the ground. But as she initiates the Hive Mind protocol, the drones spring to life, moving in perfect unison, creating intricate, shifting patterns in the air. The audience murmurs, intrigued, as Alexis grins and ramps up the demonstration. Alexis takes a deep breath and taps a few commands on her wrist console. The drones, which had been floating in harmless patterns, suddenly shift, aligning themselves into a perfect formation. The auditorium falls silent, the murmurs fading as alien students lean in, captivated by the strange, fluid movement of the drones. "Let's run a basic scenario," Alexis says, her voice echoing through the room. "Imagine these drones are defending a base. The enemy approaches from multiple directions. A centralized army might struggle to coordinate so many attackers at once, but..." She grins. "That's not how these drones work." At her signal, holographic enemy markers appear in the air around the drones. Instantly, the drones react, splitting into small groups, each facing a separate threat. Without any visible commands, the drones take defensive positions, some hovering low while others rise to strategic points in the air. They begin moving in sync, responding instantly to every shift in the virtual enemy's positions. Sval and Kellyan, watching from the front row, look on with awe and a hint of apprehension. The drones weave around each other seamlessly, dodging incoming attacks, regrouping and adapting to each new challenge. It's as if they're reading each other's thoughts, anticipating moves before they happen. Vrak Thol, standing near his laser cannon with crossed arms, scoffs. "A fancy dance. What happens if I interfere?" He raises his own wrist console and, with a smirk, sends a jamming pulse toward the drones, a trick designed to disrupt basic coordination tech. But the drones don't falter. Instead, they quickly switch formations, adjusting to compensate for the interference, and continue their pattern as if nothing happened. The audience gasps, alien students exchanging surprised looks. Alexis chuckles. "They're adaptive. If you try to confuse one, the others compensate. They learn and adjust as a unit." The astonishment on the alien students' faces is palpable. One of them, a nervous Avrian with feathery skin and bright yellow eyes, raises a hand. Why would humans create such autonomous drones? Wouldn't it be safer to control them individually? Alexis shrugs. Maybe, but where's the fun in that? Humans like to push the limits. We've had centuries of learning to adapt in real time, think fast, and anticipate threats. This is just one way we apply that experience. Kellyan speaks up, his voice tense. "So, this hive mind, it could outthink an enemy on its own." Alexis grins, clearly enjoying the reactions. "Exactly. In a real scenario, it wouldn't just be reacting. It would predict movements, outmaneuver opponents, and adapt instantly. Imagine trying to fight something that already knows your next move." The room goes silent. Many of the alien students exchange looks, trying to process the implications. To them, this level of adaptability borders on unsettling. For them, warfare relies on rigid hierarchy and fixed command chains, where one leader oversees each unit. But here, they're seeing something entirely different, an army that moves with a fluid intelligence, seemingly unstoppable. For a moment, the auditorium is still. Then, a nervous buzz begins to spread through the crowd. Murmurs of awe, surprise, and even fear ripple as alien students try to wrap their minds around the concept. Sval, whose insectoid face has gone slightly pale, looks at Alexis with wide eyes. "Your people..." really value efficiency in war, don't they? Alexis laughs, though she notices the apprehension in his voice. Not just war. It's about resilience, adaptability, and survival. Earth didn't make it easy for us, and we learned to overcome creatively. Another student, a tall, crystalline Ilan named Krisha, raises a hand. So, Alexis, this technology, is it used regularly on your home planet? Alexis pauses, sensing the nervousness in the question. Not exactly like this, no. This is a prototype I made just for the fair. But humanity does value innovation. We like to think that if there's a challenge, we can find a way to overcome it. The hive mind concept just felt like a good example of that. Vrak Thol scoffs again, though his bravado has dulled. Typical human thinking, always pushing things to extremes. She smirks back at him, unfazed. What can I say? It's a habit. The teachers standing nearby step forward, addressing the audience. It's clear that this project showcases both the ingenuity and potential challenges of human technology. Alexis, your work has given us much to think about, especially in terms of cooperative intelligence. Alien students exchange cautious glances. Many are impressed, but some are unnerved, wondering if this is merely the surface of what humanity is capable of. After the fair, a small crowd gathers around Alexis. Many of them have questions, and she's happy to answer, though she notices a few students keeping their distance, watching her with wary eyes. One of them, a shy Phylox with a shimmering blue-tinted carapace, steps forward, her voice hesitant. Why do humans create technology like this? She asks, her eyes wide. It's impressive, but it seems so intense. Alexis takes a moment before replying. Humans have had a long history of surviving tough environments and facing challenges. Earth pushed us to adapt, to find solutions quickly, and to work together when it mattered most. That's what this project represents. We don't do it just to scare people, though, she adds with a grin. Sval, who has grown more comfortable around Alexis, chuckles nervously. Well, it's working. But it's more than that, she continues, her tone growing serious. When you're up against something bigger, faster, or stronger, you need every advantage you can get. And sometimes that means thinking differently. It's not about ruthlessness. It's about surviving and even thriving in conditions that should be impossible. Slowly, the students nod, gaining a new perspective on the human mindset. For them, the idea of pushing boundaries just for the sake of survival is both admirable and slightly terrifying. As the science fair winds down, the winners are announced, and Alexis receives a special commendation for most intriguing and innovative project. She beams as she accepts the award, while Vrak Thol glares from the sidelines, his pride clearly bruised. Later, Alexis, Sval, and Kellyan stroll across the campus, the events of the day still fresh in their minds. That was something else, Kellyan says, shaking his head. I don't think I'll ever look at a human project the same way again. Alexis grins, bumping his shoulder playfully. Hey, you asked for it. Humans aren't as scary as you think. Sval laughs, though there's still a hint of nervousness in his voice. Yeah, well, I'm still not sure I want to be on your bad side. Alexis winks. That's probably a good call. And as they walk off into the sunset of Astrevia Prime, Alexis feels a renewed pride in her heritage and a deeper understanding of her role here. It's not just about showing off human ingenuity, it's about bridging gaps and sharing new ways of thinking with the galaxy, one project at a time.